let's talk about sending out invoices for our job. Invoices are tracked within the Budget tab, and if you scroll all the way over to the right on your budget overview, you will see the invoicing columns where you track your receivables. If you'd like to turn on more invoicing columns, you can click on the gear icon and scroll to the purple section, and you'll see all of the other options that you can turn on. So let's turn on a few more here. There we go. Now we can see more insights into our invoicing. All right. So when we're creating a new invoice, we are going to click on plus document at the top. Now you can choose your customer invoice template that you'd like to use. You may just have invoice, you may also have progress invoice or any other template that you want to create. Let's go ahead and choose our invoice here. Now you select which items on your budget you'd like to invoice for, or if you'd like to just invoice based on the whole budget altogether, you can just hop down to the bottom right and put in your percentage. So here, if I just wanted to create an invoice for the 15% of the whole project, I can change that here. Or let's discard that. And maybe I want to invoice based on phase of the project. I can then deselect them all and just choose that pre-construction phase. And maybe I just want to invoice 50% of that. Now you also have the option to invoice by bills and time. So for those of you who do cost plus projects, that might be the better fit for you. So then you can navigate to bills and time, and you can choose exactly which bills or which time that's been tracked in JobTread you'd like to pass on to the customer. In either case, we'll go ahead and do 15% here. When you create the invoice, you'll notice that you have a full invoice document. Now this is where you can adjust that document before you send it off. So we can change any of this information, and in an invoice, I typically don't want to show all the information that I have on an estimate. I can boil that down quite a bit and make it a lot easier for my customer to view. So I may want to hide individual items within the groups, or I can use the shortcut on the right-hand side to just show top level. Then I also have an option to show progress totals on my invoice by clicking the itty bitty percentage sign here, and that will show your customer how much was approved for the project, what was already invoiced, and what's showing on this invoice. On the right, we have some additional options. So again, if you're doing a cost plus project, you will want to turn on show cost and fee here to show them the cost versus your profit that you're charging them for. If you're fixed price, you're probably going to leave that off. And then we have the ability to choose how we want to collect that payment. So you have a few options here. One in this case is showing the QuickBooks Online Pay Now button. So if you'd like to collect payment through QuickBooks Online, you can turn this on, and that way it will show a Pay Now button on your invoice to your customer. They can click that button and it will open up this invoice in QuickBooks where they can apply the payment. If you do turn this on, you do have the option to accept ACH bank transfer and or credit and debit card when doing so. Another option is to allow your customers to pay via JobTread. And if you'd like to do so, you can choose between two of our payment processors. Our payment processors can be found in our settings. So let's go ahead and save this invoice first, and then we'll head to our JobTread settings, and then we'll go to our integrations tab. Here's where you can see our two payment processors. One of them is Evo, and you can read and learn more information about Evo here. The other payment processor is Stripe Payments down here at the bottom, and you can read information about them as well. And then you can choose which payment processor you'd like to use. Once you set up the integration with either of these payment processors, you will see the option in your invoice. Go into that job, find that invoice. Perfect. You'll see the option to turn on the collection for credit or debit card or ACH bank transfer on each individual invoice. That way, when you send this out to the customer, they will have the option to then pay directly through JobTread. Once we're ready and we've decided how we would like our customers to pay, we can then go ahead and send this out to the customer. Here we go. We don't need a signature. We just want them to submit their funds. So let's go ahead and send it out. And now you'll see that it is an open invoice. At this point, your customer will be able to come into this document, and if you're using one of our direct integrations, they can pay directly on the right. Otherwise, they will see a Pay Now button to go to QuickBooks to pay. Let's go ahead and mark this as paid manually. We'll say that they popped into our office and gave us a check. Okay, we'll click Save. And now you'll see it's paid in full. So if we go back to our budget and scroll to the right, we find that invoicing section. Now you'll see how much was approved, what has been invoiced already, what has been collected, and what is left to be invoiced. So as you continue sending out invoices, you'll be able to track it here. Also, those invoices will be found in that Documents tab, so you can keep track of them as well. If you have any questions, please contact your customer success manager or email support@jobtread.com, and we'll be sure to help.